Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access. I'm Nathan, I'm here with Dave.
Hello.
Dave, we've got a big task ahead of us.
Yeah, it's a stupid big task that we've set ourselves.
What we wanted to do was show you guys every PlayStation VR game that you're going to be able to play in 2016.
Yes.
This year, there are
54
of them, and there are other bits of software as well, but 54 games, and they're only the confirmed ones that we can definitely say are coming. Some more are going to drop in. Obviously, this list isn't final. Some might drop out, but these are the ones that are coming, Dave, and we're gonna do like launch stuff, then stuff with actual dates, and then stuff that's just confirmed as coming in 2016.
Yes.
Should say that the footage in this video is taken from the VR version where we can, and other times it's from the normal game or it's from the trailer. We just wanted to illustrate everything.
Because there are so many, we realised we couldn't do like a regular feature about it, and you came up with this idea.
Yeah, which is a stupid idea, which is for you and I to take 10 seconds each to talk about each game, or in turn. So, I don't know why I've done this. I've put us both under a lot of pressure.
Dave.
There's a timer. It means absolutely nothing. Nothing bad will happen. It's just, to get us moving along, because we will probably wax lyrical otherwise. Are you ready, Nathan? You're going first.
Yes, I am.
In 3, 2, 1.
Dave, this is 100-foot Robot Golf, which is a golfing game in which you play in a giant kind of mech suit, and the reason is because VR does scale really well, so being giant and playing golf in a city looks really cool.
Not bad, Nathan. Not bad.
Thanks.
Okay, this is Battlezone, which is you in the cockpit of a futuristic tank in a sort of Tron-esque world. You can play a campaign shooting with up to 4 players cooperatively. Oh yeah, we've started off quite well.
That's not bad. This is Batman Arkham VR, which I think everybody knows actually. It's the game in which you descend into the Batcave, you put on the Batsuit, and then you can become Batman and go out into the place where he lives that I've forgotten, and you can solve crimes.
Yes. This is Bound, which is a 3D platformer which you can actually play on your PS4 without VR as well. It's very experimental. It's got this amazing sort of dancing style. It's all been mocapped, and it's unique.
This is Drive Club VR, which is like Drive Club, the excellent game which is already available on PlayStation 4, except this time it's completely playable in VR. You sit down behind the wheel, you drive the car, you look at the mirrors. It's like driving a car, but it's in Drive Club.
It makes you much better at Drive Club. This is Eve Valkyrie, which is set in the massive Eve universe. You get to be first person inside the cockpit of a spaceship, a starfighter, flying around amazing space scenes, shooting other ships. It's really, really cool.
This is Eve Gunjack, which is obviously a sister title. It's set in the same universe, except this time, instead of flying around, you're a gunner, you're at a turret which is on a mining platform, I think, and you are defending it from waves of attacking starships like the one in Eve Valkyrie.
What if it crosses over? Okay, this is Hatsune Miku Project Diva X, probably 10 though, because it's the 10th it's the 10th title in the Diva X Diva universe, and it's a rhythm action game, and you get to have concerts in your living room.
This is Headmaster Dave. This is a football re-education game. It is not a prison. It's basically a game about heading footballs. It's got a really brilliant British dystopian sense of humour. It's really funny, and actually heading the ball is like one of the best uses of VR I've had so far.
Definitely. This is Here They Lie, which is a first-person surreal horror that I won't be playing. It's very psychological. It's about uncovering clues as you go along as to who you are and a mysterious relationship you have with a lady at the start called Dana.
This is Hustle Kings VR, which, as you might expect, is a VR version of the pool and snooker game. And the big advantage, I think, this way, Dave, is that you can play it like actual pool. You can line it up and lean down and check the angles with your eyes.
That means I'll be bad at it. This is Job Simulator. In the future, Nath, robots will do all our jobs for us. So they have to create Job Simulator so that humans could go back and find out what it was like to have a real job.
Tourism.
But they've managed to make boring jobs amazingly fun.
Dave, this is Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, which is a bomb defusing game in which the person in the VR headset is the only one who can see the bomb, and the other people have to refer to a manual, and as he describes it or she describes it, then they can figure out exactly how it needs to be diffused.
It's a lot like this. This is Loading Human, which is an episodic sci-fi adventure set in the 22nd century. It's very story-driven, and there's loads of interactivity. It's about you, the son of a dying father who gets sent into space by that father to find an everlasting energy source.
Too late, Dave. We're on to Ace Banana, which is an archery game about defending your bananas from sets of invading
Get off
monkeys.
my bananas.
And you can use the move motion controllers like your bow and arrow and then let go.
I will, thank you very much.
All right then.
This is Super Stardust Ultra VR, which is, as well as Super Stardust Ultra, also a VR mode called Invasion Zone, where you play from a new perspective, a first-person perspective, inside the cockpit of like a sort of futuristic tank thing, shooting waves of enemies.
Cockpit. This is PlayStation VR World, which is ridiculous for me to try and do in 10 seconds because it's a bunch of games, lots of little mini games. There's London Heist, there's Ocean Descent, there's Scavenger's Odyssey, there's VR Luge, and there's Danger Ball. It's like a big compilation of things.
This is Res Infinite, which was originally a PS2 title that everybody loved, and this is a reimagining of it. I think this is actually what they always wanted to make, but they didn't have the technology at the time, but now they do have VR. They do, and it's about all of your senses.
All over my bit here. This is Riggs Mechanized Combat League, Dave, which is a first-person online multiplayer shooting game, which it's a
futuristic esports.
Thanks, man.
Yes, I wanted to help you out. This is Rise of the Tomb Raider, specifically an expedition in VR called Blood Ties, where you play Lara Croft, walking around Croft Manor looking for clues about your own past, but also the whereabouts of your mother's will.
Next up we have Super Hypercube, which is kind of like Tetris in mega sort of VR 3D land. You rotate shapes and match them to the empty spaces which are coming towards you. It's a bit like that TV show, The Wall, where you had to fix
I remember that.
the shapes.
I'd be rubbish at that. This is The Assembly, which is another story-driven adventure told from two perspectives about this secret underground bunker where they're doing experiments and you have to uncover what's going on, and it's all very shady.
This is the Playroom VR, which is free to everybody who owns PlayStation VR. Dave, you can download it on the store straight away, and it's like the Playroom on the original PlayStation 4. It stars these little robots, and again, it's a bunch of mini games. It kind of focuses on the social functions of VR, and they're very cool.
This is Thumper, which is a rhythm action game. Again, you can play it on your PS4 as well, but I'm sure it's probably best in VR because look at this world. It's you play a space beetle in a very sort of treacherous world, hurtling around. Yeah, it's true.
This is Tumble VR, which is a puzzling, stacking block. It's really hard. It's like a use of 3D
puzzler.
space. Yes, it's exactly what it is, and it's really difficult to think of the words.
Yes. This is Until Dawn Rush of Blood, which made me scream a big giant pig, and is a terrifying sort of ghost train experience where you get to shoot. It's honestly horrible. I don't know why anyone would play this.
Next up, Dave, we have Volume Coda, which is it's an addition to Mike Bithel's Volume game, kind of a stealth MGS inspired game. It's got 30 new levels, and it's free for anyone who already owns Volume, and you can play the rest of the Volume levels in VR as well.
Oh, that's cool. This is Wayward Sky, which is sort of like a VR point-and-click adventure told from this third-person perspective until you interact with stuff, and then it goes first-person, which I really enjoy, about this woman who's trying to find her father. They both crash-landed in this strange world.
This is World War Toons, which is a free-to-play arcade cartoony World War II shooter.
I think you said it. I think that's okay. This is Waddle Home, where you play, I love this, the role of a benevolent alien who likes nothing better than to save penguins and solve puzzles. Luckily, he's found this world where he gets to do both. I think this looks amazing. I really want to play that.
One for you here, man. The Resident Evil 7 kitchen demo. This looked familiar to you, Dave?
Yes, very.
We've not been able to put this footage on the... but this is what all those years ago, a year ago, when you were screaming, this is what you were seeing. This is Resident Evil. It's kind of a horror demo in VR. Dave hates it.
This is Carnival Games, Nath, VR, which you'll be very surprised to hear is basically a compilation of carnival games, or like funfair games. There are 12 in total, and you even get to win tickets, and then you can exchange those tickets for virtual prizes.
Dave, we've moved beyond the launch lineup now, and this is Moto Racer 4, which will actually be available on the 3rd of November. It's an arcade motorcycle racing game with different sort of tracks and services and events, and you can play it in VR.
This is Eagle Flight. It's 50 years after humans have vanished from the world, and Paris has been reclaimed by nature. And you get to soar around famous Paris and have dogfights in midair and all kinds of stuff. It's cool.
Important news, Star Trek Bridge Crew, Dave, which is available on the 29th of November, where everybody takes a seat on the bridge, and then you all have to work together to do missions in space.
Oh, you just about saved that. This is Werewolf Within, which is like a real board game RPG that we've actually played in real life, that they've turned into a VR experience where you play a group of villagers trying to deduce who amongst them is actually a werewolf, and you play loads of different roles, and it's about talking to each other. It's cool.
This is Fated the Silent Oath, which is another story-based game set in Viking times with it's a mythical elements to it, and it's apparently, I've seen the people that have played it, is very emotional.
That looks really, really beautiful. This is Star Wars, Nath. I'm just going to say Star Wars over and over again. What do you want? You're in an X-Wing flying around. It's Star Wars. It's Battlefront. It looks absolutely incredible, and this is probably one of my most excited for games ever. I can't wait.
This is Pixel Ripped 1989, which is a very small team micro indie production. It's a game within a game starring a character called Nicola who's obsessed with games, who lives in 1989.
That looks pretty cool. This is Hollow Ball, which I'm going to have to describe as racquetball from Star Trek, I'm afraid.
Mate.
Very geeky. Basically, kind of in the holodeck, shooting
Keiko.
balls past your opponent. It's cool.
Oh my goodness, I've lost my... This is Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin. This is a first-person Psychonauts game set in between Psychonauts 1 and 2, and instead of like a platforming puzzling game, this time it's a sort of a point-and-click adventure in first person.
This is Proton Pulse, which is your classic arcade breaking goal. Not baking, don't bake them, break them.
It's like Breakout in 3D.
You're trying to save the world, and it is, yeah, it's like from a different perspective to what you'd usually expect.
Dave, this is Time Travel VR, which is the closest you're going to get to Jurassic Park in PlayStation VR. You are a cadet exploring the Jurassic era. A massive virus gets released and you have to scan, track and bait animals in order to save humanity.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because this is a little bit like Jurassic Park. It's Robinson, The Journey, where you play as Robin, who crash lands on a planet. He's only got Higgs, his little AI companion, to look after him, and it's about surviving because there are dinosaurs everywhere.
Yeah, like normal. This is Trackmania Turbo in VR. And it is it's the entire arcade online massive experience of Trackmania is going to be available in PlayStation VR.
That was exciting. This is Space Rift, which is another story-driven space adventure. It's back in a cockpit, Nath, so you know I'm going to like it. You are trying to fight for the freedom of humanity on Mars. Yeah, that's right. Deal with that.
To Mars. This is Radial G, which I was like, what's this? And then it's like a futuristic racing title, but then you set on pipes and or cables, and you can go right the way around them in VR. It's going to be nuts.
Oh, that is going to be nuts. This is How We Saw, which is a sort of VR flying game where you're on the back of a phoenix in this really kind of enchanted world full of books and all about stories, and you are bringing colour back to the pages, which I think is really nice.
This one is Windlands, Dave, which is a first-person grappling hook exploration game where you get to explore kind of an ancient civilization and find out all of its secrets. But the main thing is you're a bit like Spider-Man.
Oh, that's cool. VR. This is Tethered, Nath, which is a god sim, and I've actually played a bit of and gave me a bit of a god complex, where you have to look after your little peeps and tether things to one another to solve puzzles and to look after them and survive the day and night.
And this is Pixel Gear, which is a sort of a shooting gallery but in VR, which is it's kind of got loads of retro inspired monsters attacking you from all sides, and you use your guns to shoot them.
So this is Viva Ex Vivo, which I should have translated but didn't, which the tagline is survival on a microscopic scale, and you play a microbiologist who's covering for their colleague, researching biosamples and using a little nano artificial organism to like fight viruses and
stuff. This one is for you, Dave. This is The Weeping Doll, which is a psychological thriller made in China, set in an empty house, and you have to discover what happened to the family. Look, happy birthday.
That looks absolutely terrifying. No way I'm playing that. Or this is the Brookhaven Experiment, which is sort of another terrifying first-person horror shooter where you're stuck in one place. They say that's part of the terror, with limited ammo and this kind of waves of terrifying mutants. And look at that. And we've done it. We actually did it. I can't believe it. First time.
And there are other bits and pieces coming as well, which we haven't discussed. Various bits of kind of software. Stuff like Harmonix Music VR, and other things like that.
Yeah.
We might do more videos on that in the future, but that is a look at every PlayStation VR game, except for others that will probably arrive, that you can play in 2016. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Dave, for talking like me really quickly.
Yeah, no worries.
I can't slow down now.
I know, you should. It's fine now. It's fine. Just relax.
So like this video if that was useful to you. Let us know in the comments what you're looking forward to playing, and hang around. We've got tons more, not just on PlayStation VR, but on all PlayStation stuff.